Oops. Sorry. Sorry, I thought I pushed the button. I didn't push the button. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. Is that better now? Are we better? Are we better? Please? Good? Yes. Thank you, chat. Please. Oh, God. When you forget to push a button. Chat will catch up in a minute and they'll tell me if I've got my audio on. I should do. I pushed all the buttons. Are we good? Can I get a confirmation, please, chat? Are we good? There's 10 people here. Could really do with someone telling me. Oh. Okay, seems. Okay, we're good. Right, I'm going to do that intro again. So, hello everyone. Welcome to Tactica Imperialis. We are back doing live streaming. It's been a minute. The last time I streamed was back in January. Yes, I know, long time ago. Reason was simple. My university digs this year had absolutely terrible Wi-Fi. So I couldn't hold up a stream. I had trouble even holding up a recording for Adeptus Podcasters, which is why we changed the recording system that we had partway through the year. So I'm now back home. We've moved house, but I am now back at my parents' address for now, and we are going to do a stream for tonight. I don't know how many more streams I'm going to get to do because it requires a free house, because there is nowhere else I can do it, obviously. And so I don't know how often I'll get to stream, but I will try and do a couple of streams at least during June, because I'm going to go back to Manchester in July for my graduation, and then I'm going to be in New Digs again, and that may or may not have good Wi-Fi, I don't know. So I'm going to try and get a couple of streams in. So I haven't really got a plan. It's a semi-impromptu stream for a reason. Like, I planned to do it. I didn't make a plan to do anything during it. I have got my AOS books down here with me, so Daughters, Idneth, and the General's Handbook. I recorded a video today for the General's Handbook, and that will be uploaded for tomorrow, if you wish to watch it. I'll do my thoughts on the General's Handbook. But of course, Apocalypse is on its way. I can do a bit of a discussion of Apocalypse. Or whatever else you guys really feel like talking about. I don't really mind. I just hope chat is going to be chatty. So yeah, that's the plan. There is no plan, which is kind of typical me, I guess. No, I do not need money, thank you. For any reason, I'm good, thank you. So, no. I got it. Honestly, to be fair, it would only be like 1 or 2 streams that we'd miss, so it's not a problem at all. I'm hoping to get a game in tomorrow or record that, so there's a battle report coming. Hoping to get another game over the weekend, and maybe even the weekend after, so hopefully we'll have 3 battle reports coming during this time that I'm home. If not 4, maybe even 5, dunno. We will see quite how many videos I get out of this period at home, and we'll also see how good this place's internet is, because I haven't tried really anything rigorous with it yet, so got to try these things out, and this should be a very, very solid test of that. So I just hope it all works. I really do, because I could do with no faff tonight. What do you think of the Sisters mini models? They're nice models. I don't particularly care about Sisters. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Sisters are not an army that particularly intrigue me as an army. They're cool, they've got nice fluff, but I don't know, they're not an army that I'd ever collect. So, objectively good minis, but not an army I'd ever play, if that makes sense. Opinion on Apocalypse. Still waiting to see some of the rules. Just see exactly how good they're going to be. But so far, so interesting. I'm intrigued to see how the system fits together. They've shown us the activation system, so priority rolls, everybody moves, everybody fights, everybody takes damage, which is quite nice. And they've introduced the new movement trays, which is a good idea, due to the fact you now have half-inch coherency on your units. Damage seems to be being resolved by blast markers, which is interesting as well. Damage is being resolved by D12s. I'm going to wait to see the faction focuses for Orcs and Tau, because they're my armies, to decide quite whether I want to go in on Apocalypse. But I have got a large enough army that I can make it work. And I'll probably, if I can play it, I'll absolutely play it. Just need to have the time, really. New Apocalypse is a pretty good deal. I don't think we've got the prices yet. Okay, We haven't officially got the prices. I know they've been leaked. I don't look at leaks. I haven't seen them. So if they're decent value, like I think about the Tau one, that's a Commander, a Riptide, and 2 Crisis teams. So that's about 200 quid. Maybe 200, no, maybe 170, I think it is. 170 to buy it all separately. So we'll see how it compares in the official release, because obviously leaks subject to salt and subject to change. Always keep that in mind. But yeah, it does the look of the boxes. I do think they're really, really good, but I don't think they're great starters. So with the exception of a couple of them, they're not like brigade or battalion detachments. They're outrider detachments, vanguard detachments, so on and so on and so on. And that means that if you're going to start an army around them, you've very much been pushed into a theme, because these boxes are very themed. The Dread Mob is a fantastic one, and I'm going to probably end up getting one day. And the Tau one, I love that block of battle suits, and it'd be a great expansion for my Farsight Enclave's army. So yeah, great value, £100 at the current guess. Thank you, Rowan. So yeah, that's a net saving of about nearly 40% for Tau, which is pretty cool, and I'm down with that. Thumbs up from me, but I can't guarantee that's what they're going to be and whether it's the same value for everybody. But yeah, I think good. Not the place to start, but definitely a great expansion pack after you start collecting your first few units. I think you can definitely lean into the Apocalypse stuff if you so wish to. Have you tried Elites or Kill Team in general? No, I haven't had chance. I want to, but I haven't had chance because I've been on 40k hiatus, really. I've been doing Sigma, as you might have noticed. I've been into the new Primaris Sergeant. That's the new store anniversary model. It's a cool model. I prefer the Night Quest store for Stormcast, but that's just my opinion. Are you hoping the 8 will be good in Apocalypse? I don't think the 8 are going to be in Apocalypse, because the rules are so different that I don't think Farsight Enclaves or the 8 are going to get into Apocalypse. If they do, I'm going to use them. Absolutely. And I hope that they're good, but I don't know if they will be good. So I'm not going to say either way. Probably just buy the Adeptus Mechanicus one to save money on 6 castle lands if it saves money. Good idea. As all I'll say, movement trays will be quite popular amongst the third-party sites at the leaked prices. Okay, fair enough. The Tower box is the same one that released the holiday box a few years back. Is it? Is it? I feel like the one back then had a broadside. I don't think it had as many crisis teams, and I think it had a broadside. I don't know why. You might be right. I can't remember exactly. It's almost to check that. I feel like you might be right, but I always feel like there was something different. I'm not sure. Clarify it, somebody, for me in chat, because I don't want to risk overloading my computer. What do you think about cutting the Siege of Terror story into more books? The 8 that we're getting is fine. I think that will be enough. So we've seen Solar War, obviously. We've got Lost in the Damned coming. Then we've got the First Wall. Is it First Wall? I think it's First Wall. So that'll be the start of the actual battle. And then I think we've got enough books there to do Sanguinius versus Cabanda and the arrival of the Imperial Fist Flying Fortress. We'll have a full book for the Horus Emperor Sanguinius business on the Vengeful Spirit. We'll get a time for Malcador's send-off. We might get to see a bit more of the behind-the-scenes stuff. Get time for the aftermath. I think 8's about right. I wouldn't want to go too far, because I think they'd end up dragging it out if they went too far. So I think 8's about right. Did it have a Ghost Keel? Yeah, I feel like it had something other than 6 Crisis, a Riptide, and a Commander. It was similar, but I don't think it was exactly the same, I'm afraid. Are those new Chaos Marine Bikers in the Apocalypse box? Let me check. They sealed out a Crisis team for a broadside. Okay. Yeah, okay, it was a broadside. Well, that reassures me that I have a good memory. Well, sometimes. Right, let me have a look at this Chaos box for you. Because I just don't want to faff with my laptop before it has a hissy fit. No, those are the old Chaos Bikers. They're very old models, those. They might be on new bases, but I think they're the old bikes, just looking at the tyres. I think they're the old bikes. I think they'd have made a bigger deal out of it if there were new models coming with it. I think there's no new models at all in the Space Marine one either. Like, it's all Primaris, obviously, but there's no new Primaris in there or anything like that. Go away. So, yeah. Congratulations. Thank you. Yeah, uni part 1 is done. So I finished my physics degree. I haven't got my results yet. I'm hoping to get them by the end of June. I'm thinking about the 26th is when I'm going to get my results, but I'll tweet them out if I get them. And my graduation is in July, so then that's done, and I'm on to the next phase of my life, teacher training. So that could have some consequences for the channel. Who knows? So Horus Heresy already got dragged out far too long. Don't want the same happening with the siege. Accurate. Taking advantage of your knowledge of numbers, which is more probable, 6 plus on a d6 or an 8 plus on a d12? Well, 6 plus on a d6 has a 1 in 6 chance. 8 plus on a d12 is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's a 5 in 12 chance. 5 in 12 is about 2.5 in 6. Or you could say 1 in 6 is about 2 in 12. So your odds of doing wounds nearly treble. Is it 1/3? 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I thought it was 5 twelfths, not 4 twelfths. Willing to be corrected. I think 9 plus is 4 twelfths and therefore 1/3. Either way, your odds are much better on that d12 than they are on that d6. Definitely. It is fine for siege, a much narrower scope. That Primaris box, 30 frickin' bolters. Was it 30? Sorry, I just skim read the thing. Not now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. It's 32 miniatures. 3 squads of 10. So yeah, you've got an intercessor squad, 2 intercessor squads. Is it literally just 3 squads of intercessors? That would make sense actually for a Primaris battalion. So yeah, 30 bolters plus whatever you give your Redemptor. Ow. No, this channel does not show that I'm down with the kids. This channel shows the exact opposite. I'm doing a nerd's hobby. I'm a nerd. And also, I'm an online person. I can easily... the amount of things I've said in the past 5 years that could be taken out of context, could be warped, could be twisted, could be changed. It's a risky business. And I had one of my interviewers advise me to get off of social media. Like, entirely. So that would have been channel down, Twitter down, Facebook down, the whole thing. My personal and my professional social media gone. That was their advice. Granted, they were a lot older than me and probably didn't buy into social media anyway, but hey, I intend to keep the channel running unless I'm told to take it down. If I'm told to take it down for the sake of my job, I'm sorry, my job has to come first, but I will keep the channel up even if I have to stop unloading. Tower box has too many crises. It has 6. It's 6 suits, plus a commander in an XV85. No, sorry, XV805, not XV85. Sorry, I was forgetting my own rules on how to code battle suits. So yeah, how are you doing? I'm fine, thank you. I've done a lot of walking today because my parents decided to move to a backwater. Seriously, I had to walk about a mile to the next town, and that's fine. I could walk a mile. I walked 3 miles back to my old town the other day, but seriously, this place does not work for pedestrians because the only path that there was for pedestrians was a footpath that was about yay steep with a footpath about that wide that wasn't covered in super slippy mud. So you can't get down there when it's wet. You can't get up there when it's wet. You can't really get up there, period. And it's also that steep and it's like a mile long. It's just dangerous. So I have to go round the houses and that adds about 20 minutes to my journey going down the main roads and then up. And I've got to be there got to do it for every morning for a couple of weeks for a 6:30 train. So, yeah, I'll be going to look forward to that. Yay. Still, good to get in the habits for the world of work. Have you noticed the HQ requirements from battalions have changed to only 1 if the box of the warlord system remains for Apocalypse? Good point. Hadn't noticed that. Though they did say that the leader of a detachment was just the model with the highest leadership, and then if they were a character, they became a warlord. So we'll have to see how the detachment rules work. So not sure. Good observation though. Can't force you to take it down as a private life. Yes, probably, but it's just, one of those things. Can't be too careful. Get a Primaris box, but I play Blood Angels, so convert some of them to Primaris Assault Marines. Good idea. Conversions are fun. You usually teach physics to the great unwashed masses. That's a good idea in theory, but it's a really hard thing to do in practice, because Warhammer physics and actual physics... I did a video like 3 years ago trying to explain some science as a first-year undergrad to people about some of the Warhammer science, and it was a nightmare. So trying to make the videos work with the channel would be kind of annoying, and then try to fit the actual physics that I know into something that you guys could understand. Well, that's part of my job, but, you know, details. I'll keep my location private, thank you. Not going to answer that, because, you know, security. Almost the nearest town by foot. Yeah, it is. It kind of is. But it's the fact that they're all different parts of the same sort of broad strokes area, just interconnected very poorly. So, yeah, I don't know. Weird. No, even if I have to stop uploading, even if I have to take my channel down, unless Remley says that means I have to step away, I want to keep doing it as podcasters even if I stop uploading. So if I have to stop uploading for some reason, then I'll still do the podcast, but it will just go up on Remlaze's channel all the time. Unless Remlaze decides, no, I want someone who's uploading as part of the community, then they'll get someone else in. But rule of thumb is I'm going to keep doing it as podcasters as long as I can, and as long as I'm allowed. So I don't plan to stop the podcast even if I have to stop my own uploads. Though I don't plan to stop my own uploads under any circumstances. Well, aside from keeping my job, you know. I'm training for secondary teaching, so that with the UK is 11 to 16 with an extension to 11 to 18. So it's primarily focused on 16, but 18 is the highest age. Oh, hey Scar, good to see you. Things are good. Bit tired, but you know, that's nothing new. Just cracking on with life. How many legions that Chaos have in lore of 40k? 9 traitor legions. Up is not jump. Oh, I do watch Up is not jump. Actually, I do. I watched his video on existence is a nightmare and this is why, the origins of the universe. And I read that. I watched that. I was like, yeah, this is really quite good. So he's kind of doing my job already, and he'll do it better. So actually, yeah, Up is not jump. If you want to learn some science, he's actually a really good person to watch. Just for some basic like origin universe physics, and he'll probably do some more. But if you do ever want to ask me a science question on a stream, or maybe I'll do a dedicated science Q&A video one time, then we could do that. Maybe I'll just do it as a random Q&A in streams or as a one-off video, but I won't make it a dedicated part of my plan unless I think it could be useful for school. Then I might. Yeah, I actually did watch the Up is not jump video. I completely forgot that. Thank you for reminding me about that. That was fun. Yeah, teenagers. It's fine. I like a challenge. And I think teenagers is the right age for teaching science, because obviously you show them science at a young age, you show them the cool stuff in science and all the fun stuff that science can do, but at a teenage age you start actually being able to piece it together. And I think that's the age where you need to, in my mind, catch them and hook them on science. So if you could show them all of that stuff at that age, then they're going to engage with it. So yes, I may teach A-level physics. It depends on the school that I'm at. Your 2 a.m. ramble about nuclear power station. That was fun. We were talking in the Discord server about Chernobyl and Fukushima, because in my applied nuclear physics course this year that I just sat, we did a small section on fission and fusion power, and in the fission section we talked about accidents like Chernobyl and Fukushima. So explaining how Chernobyl went wrong at the same time as the Chernobyl series obviously been going on TV, though of course I haven't had a chance to watch it, I don't have a TV, means that it was actually quite a really fun discussion to have, and that's what I love about physics. You can take something that happens and explain it. Explaining the universe. It's fun, okay? And yes, I know my arms are all over the place. Shut up. Find the leader and make yourself the boss. Legally. Yes, of course. Basic job when teaching. You are not my friend. I am not your friend. You're going to listen, but we're going to have fun doing it. That's my sort of method and ethos. Is I'm not your friend, and I'm going to make sure that you understand that. But I want you to have fun in the lessons because that's the best way to engage. Handling the hobby squirrel. I mean, I'm kind of a squirrel in my own right. So, budgets and planning, I guess. That sounds like a plan. A-level physics students, oh yeah, A-level's fine. It's the 12 to 14-year-olds. They're the challenge. What we call year 7 through year 9. Because that's the age where you've got to get them. Because at that point, they can pick their GCSEs, as we do in England and other places. So if they do the GCSEs and they pick triple science, which is an option you can take in some schools. I don't know if every school offers triple science, or maybe they always do triple science. It depends on the school, I suspect. But if you can catch them there, then they'll be engaged for the rest of their lives. It caught me, and I kept going. So we know when things re-enter the atmosphere, they get hot due to air friction. Blasé answer, but yes. If a craft to descend at a slower controlled speed, would it still generate that heat? Probably not the same. Because if you think about it, if you drop... you'd have to do it over a vast distance. But if you were to throw something down and then measure how much it bounced... No, hang on. How do I explain this? It's... Yeah, okay. Terminal velocity. That's how I'll explain it. In terms of velocity. So if you throw something, that moves through the air at a certain speed. That means it collides, assuming uniform volume and density, with a certain amount of particles in the air per second. We'll call that number n. If so you hit n particles per second, you're going to transfer n times the kinetic energy per collision of energy into the particles. Or the particles will transfer their energy of kinetic energy being converted into heat by the collision. Usually this function is about proportional to temperatures multiplied by Boltzmann's constant, not important. So if you're traveling at a high speed, then that value of n is higher because it's proportional to the amount of distance you're covering in a certain amount of time, assuming uniform density. So the higher your speed, the more particles you're hitting, the more collisions there are, the more energy is imparted, therefore more heat. So in answer, yes it would, but not the same amount. There you go. We tell them the magic of lasers and electricity. Electricity, yes, we do electricity, we do circuits and that lot. Lasers, not so much. I've been doing laser physics in like 2nd to 4th year, so probably not much on lasers aside from the basics, like they have a monochromatic wavelength, they're monochromatic, high energy, advantages and disadvantages, things like that. Nothing too broad. I don't know why people get scared of nuclear power, it's way safer. Yeah, nuclear power is very, very safe 99% of the time. But when it goes wrong, it goes really wrong. And that's the risk. So I understand the challenge of nuclear power. I think it's a really good idea, but it's very expensive to set up, very expensive to take down. The disposal risks are still there. And if something goes wrong, it's catastrophic. So I understand the concerns people have about it. I personally think it's the way forward until we can create better renewable solutions. If we move to nuclear for a time, if we can, like fusion reactors, that would be brilliant, but fission for the time being, we go with that, then we move to fusion, and then we move to renewables, with a combination of fusion and renewables today, what we need. That would sort of be my idea, but I'm no expert on all this stuff, so don't quote me on that. 3 Mile Island. Yeah, there was an incident on 3 Mile Island, back in the 70s, I think. It was rated 3 on the disaster scale, but nobody died. No one was hurt, no leaks, no deaths, but it was still quite bad. Creating a fan-made... Fair enough. Bye-bye. You don't need to at me every message, by the way. I'm reading the entire chat, so you only need to at me if you're replying to something in particular. Not sure this has been asked, what's your current dream hobby project? Oh, I've kind of done them all. Like, I've done my daughters, I've done my Idneth, I've done my orcs, I've got my Tau, I've got my terrain project upcoming, which is going to be really, really fun. Flip. Maybe I've kind of done them all because I just do them as I go along and I flip between them. So I don't know. Of the projects I've not done, the projects I probably want to do most would be an Ever-Chosen army with Varangard or a Free Guild army for AOS with all of that stuff. For 40k, done Guard before, done Necrons before. dabbled with Marines. I've dabbled with Chaos, though I never really invested. Don't want to do Tyranids. Drakari? I had a thought of Drakari when they came out, but I don't know. I really don't, I'm afraid. Sorry. Yeah, fun talks about fission and fusion reactors. 9.8 meters per second. That is the acceleration under gravity. Keep that number in mind. That's little g. Are fusion reactors more dangerous if it goes off? Yes and no. They're higher energy, so you get a bigger explosion, but you get no fallout. So, short term, short range, yes. Long term, no, not at all. You just have one big explosion and no fallout. You just get hydrogen, and hydrogen's everywhere. It's just water when you put it with oxygen. So it's kind of a mixed bag. Would thorium be better than uranium? I think thorium is just harder to get, or it's cross... I don't know all the details. I think it's either its cross-section is worse, or its abundance is worse, or it can't be enriched. It might be its enrichment that's the problem. I can't remember. See stuff. Yeah, we all have bad teachers. I get that. Yes, fission is breaking, and fusion is fusing. Yes. Drakari Witch Army. I did consider it. I might do it one day. I probably won't. If fusion goes wrong, it just fizzles and it's a bleep to restart. Probably, because you've got to re-establish all the... If you're doing a tokamak, you've got to re-establish all the magnets and rebuild the whole reactor because you've blown the bloody thing up. So, it would be horrid to fix, but in terms of environmental damage and long-term effects, it would be better. You just might have to deal with more blackouts for longer while they had the thing restarted. Drakari Kill Team. I might do a Drakari Kill Team one time. That might be fun. Just as a side project. Shut up, Harry. I know you're there. You might have a different name on YouTube, but I know you're there, you bloody squirrel. Yeah, that's rude. I think I have had a conversation with that person before about physics in the chat. I've taught basic science stuff before. I've never really done it long term. Yeah, the lore is a really good hook. I got hooked because of the gameplay and the models first, but the lore is what's kept me in the hobby. I don't think the game could have. The lore did. So I appreciate that as an idea, and thank you for saying so. I appreciate it. It's very kind of you to say that. Favorite rosters, possible projects. Maybe. I might think about it, but the thing is, I don't really do small projects. Like, my Ideneth were a side project for my Daughters of Cain that were going to become a full project. If I did a Drakari Kill Team, I'd end up getting a Drakari army. I know me. I just would. Eventually. It might take me ages, but I would. Fun fact, I consider working as security for 3 Mile Island. Yeah, I could understand if you're guarding a reactor, then yeah, I can understand why they pay so much in case of sabotage or the dangers if something did go kaboom. So I get that. I totally get that. Heresy lore is good. I think it depends on what you really like. If you like lots of political intrigue, you might actually quite enjoy the Heresy lore, though it depends on really what you're into in terms of lore. So like, I've really enjoyed reading, I read Farsight Crisis of Faith for the podcast, and I really, really, really enjoyed that, because it had some combat, it had some backstage stuff, had some political stuff going on as well. A nice mix, I think, is really good, and I'm really looking forward to the Belisarius Call novel, because doing that will give us a good look into Call, into Sotha, maybe into Imperius Secundus and all things that go on Sotha, what else has gone on there. So I'm really looking forward to that one as a novel. Kroot Mercenaries. I have a box of Kroot. I painted 1, 2, and then I gave up. Maybe not. What makes the Flesh Eater Court so OP? It's a combination of the Carnal Throne and the Arch Regent. The two of them together, and the summoning that comes with it is nonsense. That's the problem, as far as I'm aware. Also, I think that monster spam is quite dangerous, but I believe it's mainly revolving around the Arch Regent and the Carnal Throne, from my memory. You ever considered uploading photos of your army to a project, to a platform like Instagram? No, I use Twitter. I upload the videos to show them off, and I put some photos as they go along on Twitter. That's how I always do things. I don't always do everything, but I usually put most of the things on Twitter. Best theoretical energy source for humanity to work on IRL. Personally, I think it is fusion. I think fusion is just the best idea, because it's efficient. If you can get it to work, the energy outputs are huge, and they're very, very long running. A renewable reactor would be great. A renewable system is fabulous, and I really think we should aim for that. But if we can get fusion to work and maybe expand beyond hydrogen fusion into maybe helium fusion in particular, then that would be a perfect goal, because hydrogen and helium are everywhere and we're not going to run out of them. So I think hydrogen fusion is the best thing to aim for, but I'm not an expert. I'm really not. That's just my best guess. 40k needs more Xenos armies. Possibly, but you also need to think about balancing the game and not oversaturating it. So giving more Xenos armies to the game means love gets taken from some of the others. So yes, but no, but I get you though. Just so you know, every time I read the Vizart calling Ivorian Psychic Fallout of Eldritch Witch, or I hear your voice shouting, "You are a plot device." Accurate, accurate, accurate. What about doing a series like the Siege of Axe? No. That's not how I like to do my lore. I like to keep my lore very condensed and put out one video on a topic, 2 at most. It was like the Dreadnoughts was 2 parts because there was just too much to talk about. But Gazkul, 1 video. Gilliman, 1 video. I don't do battles because they're harder to tell in my sort of narrative structure. They're not really the way I work. So I won't be doing battles style stuff unless I can link in all of the bits going on around it and sneak in some character lore on top. But I'd only ever get it in 1 video. That's just the way I prefer to do it. As far as that, they were invited. As far as I'm aware, they were invited. That's all I can say. They were invited, as far as I'm aware. I assume they either didn't get the message or they declined. But, yeah, that's that. Gotta pay large amounts of money for a new draw law, but essentially a 40k historical document. I get that. Helium 3 is theoretically more efficient. Yes, but. Huge yes, but. Helium 3 fusion, I actually did cover this, and I could go and get my notes to prove it. Helium 3, if you used Helium 3, you get buckets more energy. Huge amounts of more energy per reaction, and all of it gets dumped in the plasma, which is what you want. However, Helium 3 has a ridiculously high Coulomb barrier, which means that overcoming that barrier requires way more energy than you can actually get, which means that it doesn't work. So the reason we use hydrogen, either deuterium, tritium, or H1, is because it has a low Coulomb barrier. So you don't have to overcome a huge energy deficit to get the reaction going, even applying quantum tunneling. Whereas helium-3, because it's got 2 protons, it's got 2 neutrons. No, it's got two protons, 1 neutron. It's just got a massive Coulomb barrier, which makes it an absolute bleep to deal with. That's why we don't use it, because it's got a much higher Coulomb barrier, because it has 2 protons, not 1. So it's an absolute pain in the arse. Would be brilliant, but Coulomb barrier. Just going to say it. That meme, yeah, I could do without it. I could live without it. Gav's right, Inquisitor's Guide to Speaking Eldari. I mean, the Tau lexicon that Phil Kelly puts in the back of Crisis of Faith, and I think it's in the back of War of Secrets as well, is so helpful. Really is. Discutari Transport, we don't know how big it is. I don't think. So I'm going to say 50 quid as a baseline, because that's about the same price as a Riptide, but less than a Repulsor, but maybe about the same price as a Landry. So about 50 quid is my guess. Helium 3 is a byproduct, but it's such a bleep to fuse. That's why we don't use it. It's a massive bleep to use. I mean, the minute we use Hydrogen 3 by breeding it from lithium, which is what we do, we breed lithium 6 with neutrons to create lithium 7, which then decays to an alpha particle, which is helium 4 plus, or helium 4 without the electrons, plus hydrogen 3. And that's what we do, but it doesn't work with helium 3 because its Coulomb barrier is way too high, as I said. It's Rhino sized. Okay, so maybe 40 then? 30 to 50, I think, is a decent price range to aim at. Yeah, there is. There's one in the back of Crisis of Faith as well. It's so useful. Could you use a hydrogen fuse? Yes, but why? Why? Why would you bother? It's just... just use the hydrogen reactor to provide the power. Because you need to do way more fusion than you actually need to get the heat up to like levels of the sun, which is insane and stupid and can't be done in order to get the helium reactor going. So what's the point? Because what does the sun do? Fuses hydrogen. What does the sun not do? Fuse helium. When the sun fuses helium, it blows up into a red giant and will eat the Earth when it does it, I think. So you need to be way larger, so you got way more pressure in order to cause that fusion. So we can't fuse helium, unfortunately. It would be lovely if we could, but we can't. Sorry. Also, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just making hand gestures and it's weird. Sorry. Chibi models are tiny, good to know. Gaming house rule that Primaris can use land raiders, fair. Wish Abaddon killed Kargar to make both characters cooler. Yeah. But they just primarized Kargar, so they were never going to kill him. It would have been cool, but given he just got his new model, I think it was never going to happen, I'm afraid. Yes, a radium gun would be exceptionally illegal. Exceptionally. Because, you know, radiation guns. Bad. Radiation bad. Would a plasma rocket engine get us there faster? Theoretically, it would probably produce more energy, though a plasma engine is basically just a superheated gas engine. Like, liquid burns off to gas to produce thrust, goes super hot and super magnetic, you get plasma. That's all. So, do you get more energy out of a plasma? Probably. Would it be worth the energy you have to put into it? Don't know. Could it be done faster? Maybe. Not an expert. Don't do rocket science. Just do everything else. Squirrel. So experiment starts fusing iron. No. The biggest thing that you can fuse or create by fusion is iron. Because iron has the highest binding energy per nucleon of every element we know. So a star can fuse all the way up to iron and it can't go any higher. At that point, it goes supernova or it collapses. Generally, in these cases, they go supernova, and that creates all of the heavy elements that we see in the universe. They're all created by supernovae. So a star could fuse all the way up to iron, but that requires exceptional conditions to do. The sun fuses hydrogen right now. When it runs out of hydrogen, it has helium left, it will collapse and expand to a red giant and start fusing helium to form oxygen, I think. Will it be oxygen or will it be carbon? I can't remember. I think it might be carbon. And then it will do that. And then it will go to its next phase, which will probably be carbon fusion. And then it will probably be a white dwarf and it will die. That's roughly how it goes, I think. Could the Dark Age of technology actually happen? We don't know what happened in the Dark Age of technology, so I have no idea. AI? Yes. AI rebellions? Yes, absolutely. Faster than light travel? Probably not. Interstellar travel through different dimensions that may or may not exist? Probably not. Psychic powers? Flip knows. Don't know. Honestly, probably not. I'm not a nuclear physicist. I'm a physicist who happened to do some nuclear physics. We're already living in the 40k universe, I'm just saying. Well, we might. We might. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? We're not going to find out because we don't have cryotech. Yeah, I can see that. That is a risk with nuclear power. Yeah, I can see that. So why is the Star Cannon only strength 6? Because the game doesn't know how to do science. That's why. Will that satisfy? No, probably not, but that's what you're going to have to deal with. The games translating actual science into reality is nonsense and hard. In reality, a las gun that fires a superheated, powerful, auto-cauterizing laser bolt should not be strength 3, but it is. Sorry, it just shouldn't be. But hey, whatever. Are you into any other IPs besides OS and 40k? From G-dubs? No. I dabbled with Lord of the Rings, but gave up. I've looked into Dreadball, sort of like the Blood Bowl idea. Thought about it. I've heard about Dead Zone. Never really cared for Warhammer Hordes. So probably the nearest I got was Dreadball, but I never really committed to it because I never even committed to Blood Bowl. So, no, in all truth. But we know Calgar going renegade after having issues with Gilliman. That was a fair cop, to be fair. They were sowing that seed. They didn't go for it, but they could have done. They set up the heel turn. They didn't do it, but they could have done. Colonize the moon and turn it into a building yard. Yeah, that's unlikely. That's unlikely. 40k Law Science is a weird place. Yes. Yeah, it is. It really is. It really is. It would have most likely happened on tabletop after Horus Heresy, Scouring, Great Crusade, Unification Wars, or 8th edition for Heresy. I think Heresy will stay in 7th edition. It doesn't need the upgrade. I'd like to see them move into the Scouring rather than the Unification Wars. I'd like to see the game system go forward rather than back, because otherwise you've got to add a lot of Xenos races in and flesh out a huge amount of lore that you didn't really envision creating. So they'd have to create the Megarachnid models. They'd have to create the Interrex and all the others. I think they're better off going forward than back, but I wouldn't be against seeing the Great Crusade. The Unification Wars? No. Don't do the Unification Wars. But no. Why am I talking about high-level physics? I'm going to study history. To be fair, I would study classics. If I did another degree, I would do it in classics. I don't know why. I just would. Yeah, shut up. I mean, Primarchs feeding with blood, you can't. There are nutrients in human blood. You shouldn't do it, but you could theoretically subsist off it, particularly if it was super enhanced genetically engineered blood. Maybe. So the Angron thing I can live with. The Ferrous Manus thing, well, let's just say the only way I'm forgiving David Geimer is because he writes really good Sigmar. The next type of project could be Necromunda or Aeronautica. No. Honestly, I just don't have anyone to play him with. That's why I never got into specialist games, because I wouldn't play them with anybody. If I want to start reading Warhammer books, where should I start? Depends. Personally, I think the Space Marine Battles novels from a while ago are really quite good. Space Marine Conquest have apparently been quite hit and miss. Devastation of Baal was great. War of Secrets was great. Apparently Ashes of Prospero was terrible. Blood of Ice, I think. So if you want to read really new stuff, read Space Marine Conquest. If you want some older stuff, you could go with Space Marine Battles. You could look at the Macarius novels. Gaunt's Ghost is very popular. You look at Gaunt's Ghost or Caiaphas Cain. If you want to go back to the Heresy, well, there's a giant flowchart of books you should read for the Horus Heresy, so start there. On the Sigmar side, you could probably read the Realmgate Wars, although I would recommend starting probably with the AOS rulebook and then Soul Wars, in that order, because the AOS rulebook will lay it all out for you, and then Soul Wars will give you something deeper. What do you think about other universes? I mean, we don't know what 95% of our universe is why we call it dark energy and dark matter. So, yeah. Don't know. No idea. Not going to rule it in, not going to rule it out. Eisenhorn, shout. Eisenhorn is a very good shout. That is a very good shout indeed. I hadn't thought of Eisenhorn because I always forget about Eisenhorn. My apologies. Undying King. Yeah, you could read Nagash the Undying King. That would be a really good one to start with for AOS. Yeah, I think that's a good call. And also the shorts, like Gods and Mortals, fantastic. I've been reading Myths and Revenants a bit on my own time. That's fantastic. So you go there, that gives you a little bit of a smattering of flavour for particularly Order, Chaos and Death. Weird theory, based on the Imperial Supremacy Force. Index Crows and Fist, Vitals Book 1, and... I think they'll reveal what happened to Dawn. Go read the Conrad Kurz novel. Go read the Conrad Kurz novel. I advise you do that. Most recommended books across the Horus Heresy, Core and 40k at iOS. Oh, bloody hell. For the Heresy, I think you've just got to start with the first three. I don't know what else to recommend because I haven't really read many of them. I've just read the first three, and I know what happens in most of them because of my lore research, but I haven't had a chance to actually sit down and read them. So, of the ones I know, probably Galaxy and Flames, though I really also do like False Gods. 40k, favourite 40k novel? Most recommended? Oh, I love Hell's Reach. Hell's Reach is the first novel I ever read, and I have sentimental attachment to it. Devastation of Baal is great. Priest of Mars was great. Damocles was pretty good. Farsight Crisis of Faith was fabulous. I don't know. I really don't. At AOS, I haven't read enough fiction to know, but I've really enjoyed Scourge of Fate. I really, really enjoyed Hamilcar Champion of the Gods. Everything else I've read has been collections of shorts. So probably I recommend Soul Wars because it's just important. Dark Eldar Trilogy, fair. Don't Reveal Happens Adored because Mystery is good, fair. What if Horus Heresy never happened? Oh, good grief. So much nonsense. I'm not even going to start unpacking that one. I'll be here all night. Wild Random Ghost Warrior, which I'm more... True. Play a lot of video games? No. Don't have time. Ready the developers such as Steel Demon and Bone Desert? No, I haven't had a chance. Getting a Dread Mob? I hope. One day, maybe. Not sure. Want to. Might get the Tower one first. Depends if I enjoy playing Orcs or Town more when I get my new vehicles done. Not sure. Varrock is saying Daughter's still alive. Maybe. Who knows? It's yeah, fair point. Aeros list. Okay, cool. Yeah, Discord's a thing. You can do that. Hell's Reach is damn good. Stormcaller. Haven't read that one. Legion of the Damned is a fabulous book. I've read Legion of the Damned with the Excoriator Zachariah Kirsch and the Holocaust. Fabulous read. Fabulous read. Finished Severina Rain. Yeah, I hope so. I think Severina... I haven't read the Severina Rain novel, but I think she'll be a good successor to Kane and Gaunt. Or maybe. So I think that should be quite fun. Okay. Could a Primarch be a Dreadnought, theoretically speaking? It would have to be a completely custom chassis with completely custom systems, but I don't see a reason why not. It's not going to be a standard Dreadnought. It has to be a completely unique Dreadnought chassis. But, I mean, they kept Gilliman alive in stasis, so they could theoretically do it, maybe. Not sure. Time is it? Oof, 20 past 9. World War II, fair. Right. No comment. Absolutely no comment on Weapons of Mass Destruction. No comment whatsoever. Nope, not talking about that. Oh, question for chat. Since the Apocalypse prices got leaked, have the General's Handbook points sort of come out yet? Because my General's Handbook is arriving on Saturday, and I don't know if it's going to arrive in time for me to go and play a game with it. So, if the points have been leaked, could you let me know? And if someone is in the Discord who has access to them, could you drop them in the Discord, just for everybody's benefit, just so I can rework my list? Because I know Daughters took some heavy nerfs, and I know I've never taken some big buffs. So I just like to quite know if they've come out and been leaked. I don't know if they have. I know people have got access to early copies. I don't know if they've been got put online. I don't know. What do you think about the Death Corps and the Armageddon Steel Legion? I mean, they both got videos in Regiments of Renown. Yeah, they're cool. Death Corps is cool. Very aesthetically cool. Like the idea. As for Steel Legion, I like Steel Legion, but that could be just biased because Yarrick. But yeah, Steel Legion and Death Corps are cool. I would never play a Guard Army again. I tinkered with a Guard Army when I was starting this channel, but no. No, not for me. Wouldn't play them. Sorry, not for me anymore. Kind of sick of Horde armies now. I don't know why. I kind of got off painting tanks. Maybe it's because I'm so used to painting monsters now and infantry, but tanks don't really appeal the same way. Orcs be the exception. On your Lord travels, have you seen or heard anything else to the fate or whereabouts of Yarrick? No, actually, I'm afraid not. The Astra Militarum Codex will be the most up-to-date source on the matter, as the Orc Codex makes no mention of Yarrick's current location. It just talks about Gaskell. So the Astra Militarum Codex for 8th edition is the most recent source of information on Commissar Yarrick, I am afraid. Excuse me. No, not Remlaze's Discord. We have our own Discord, though we only publicise it in streams, so most people probably haven't heard of it. You have adhered to a GW higher up? I don't. A White Scars Codex? There's not enough there. They're too similar to regular Marines. They'd have to do a lot. Yeah. Do you think GW will only release formations of the campaign books? Yes. Otherwise they'd have put them in a recent codex, and they didn't. So we're going to go yes. Have you seen the original Robocop? No, I haven't actually. Yes, I'm an uncultured swine. Rem tells me every podcast. So no, I haven't. Space Wolf the Imperial Fist is cool to you. Fair. I'm a Thousand Suns player by trade from 30k, so Wolves, boo. Though, oh no, hang on. Has it happened? No. Wait, has it happened? Did it change? Oh. Oh, no. No. My most viewed video of all time is now the Space Wolves. Space Wolves! Why are you my most viewed video of all time? You've overtaken the bloody Emperor Chaos God theory. And of course the Dark Angels and the Alpha Legion and the Wordbearers. I don't like those legions. Why are you the most popular? Why do people have to like you? Damn it. My most popular video is now in Space Wolves. I'm not happy. Well, I am happy because it's got 77,000 views. But at the same time, why did it have to be the fucking Wolves? Why? Why did it have to be the Wolves? I jest. Yes, Tactica.exe has stopped working. It's back online now, but it did stop working for a moment. What is this? Yes, but Space Wolves aren't. Okay, they are, but they also aren't. But maybe that's my Thousand Suns bias. I don't know. It sucks to me, but at the same time. Pause for 10 minutes. I'm getting pissy at Space Wolves. Yeah, well, that's my job. James is correct. Just need a bit different, but then you keep professions like Voice to Storm and Storm Seas using cool powers. Yeah, but it's not enough. Like, they might get an index in White Dwarf, but that's all they get. An index, not a codex. Same as Tacoma Fist did. Legion still got suffered more than others in 40k, Dangles, and Wolves. Yeah, 30k Wolves are actually pretty cool. The 30k Dark Angels are an interesting plot line, but yeah, I think Modern Era, they have kind of been shafted a bit. Is that the beginning to a joke? Don't know. Leave it for a minute. This video will not be deleted. This stream's going up. There's been no technical issues. It's run like a dream. So yeah, this stream will be put live. Not sure if I'll do it tomorrow because of the video I'm putting out tomorrow. But I think on Thursday, I'll probably put out this stream. I'll re-upload the VOD. I'll put it out tonight, maybe. I don't know. Not sure yet. See how I feel. So that's all fine. 34 people. That's quite a lot. That's a lot for us. Especially because I haven't streamed for so long. Like, I know the channel's gone from like 21,000 to 25,500 in that time. We've grown massively. But that's like twice what I typically get on a stream. So yeah. What's next for AOS? Terrain Project is what's next. Although I will be expanding my Ideth all the time. Because, yeah, I just love the Ideth range. I think the Ideth range is fantastic. So I will be getting more Ideth. Especially with the changes to Namarti seemingly coming down in cost. Definitely going to want to invest in a full-on Namarti army. And maybe sticking my Kelly and Queen on top. But then if Teclis' elves come along, like the light elves from Heish, I'll absolutely go for them next. So Terrain and Ideth together. Then the next set of elves with a possible sidetrack into doing some Blood Knights, so I can get the mercenary company of the Blood-Soaked Rose for allies for my Daughters of Cain, because I think that would be fun. 40,000 Suns has also been a little cheated. There isn't that much lore. There's certainly a lot less, but that's because the story of the Thousand Suns as a group kind of ends at M31. After the rubric, everything just kind of stops. And nothing really happens for them. Like, they just sort of stagnate and fragment. Sure, the Battle of the Fang happens, and there's other things, and then they reunite for the Siege of Fenris. But I understand why they get less now, because... Oh, excuse me. They stop being who they are after the rubric. I find that theory unlikely, personally. Impossible? No, but exceptionally unlikely, I suspect. At least 40,000 are their entire defining features that make them interesting, corrupted totally into their most meme/least interesting elements through bad writing or direction. Wolves! And Dark Angels. And the Chaos Gods. So, yeah, get that. Definitely get that. Totally get that. Makes sense to me. Why do Imperial Guards will never retreat or fall back? To me, it's a good thing to retreat rather than going forwards. Because commissars. Would you want to fall back knowing you get shot to do it? You'd rather go forward and chance your harm at living than stand back and die. Your odds are better going forward. Because if you go backwards, you're dead. That's the best I can give you. It's the most logical response in my head. Because survival matters. Survival matters most of all. For most humans, survival instinct comes first. The AOS Open Day. No, I didn't actually. Because it would be a real faff for me to get there from where I am. It would probably be at least 2 trains worth of travel. And I've also got to be back here for 6 o'clock, for like a 5 a.m. start Monday morning. So it would be a bit difficult for me to get down there because it's the end of June, isn't it? Or is it the end of July? Hang on. When is it? Open day. Oh, 20th of July. Possibly. I haven't decided. I might be able to go after graduation. I might be able to go, but I'll see how my money's looking because we'll see. We'll see. Could Lion beat Angron? In a straight fight? No. Not even close. Lion was good, but Angron was insane. And the only reason Russ could beat him is because Russ was just that good. And Russ, theoretically, maybe even actually lost. It's hard to say with the Night of the Wolf. Opinions vary. Have you got Contrast to try to protect... No, I haven't. I haven't bought Contrast because I haven't had anything to paint. If I do buy Contrast, I'll probably get a brown and do my Kroot quickly with them and then just pick out the armor details. Although if I get the Light Elves and they're done in a way that benefits from Contrast, I might do that. So I'm not planning on doing anything with Contrast yet, apart from maybe doing terrain with Contrast just to speed up the process. I don't know yet. They withdraw when ordered to. Accurate. Also that. Would you say with Chaos or the Imperium? Neither. Talvar. Every time. Talvar. Every time. Will I make next year's Warhammer Fest? No. Probably not, because it'll be in the middle of the school year and I'll be at the end of my teacher training, so I'll probably be working flat out to get all my final essays and assessments and classes in. So, yeah, I'd probably not, but it'd be nice. The Death Corps, I thought the problem with the Death Corps is the Commissars had to try and convince the commanders to retreat, because the Death Corps was so suicidal-ish. It's rare, but something... If you could change one aspect of the law to change certain events that haven't at any point, which one? Oh. The problem is, it's the butterfly effect. If I say, Magnus doesn't go, then that changes everything. If I say Magnus doesn't turn, that changes everything. If I say Farsight convinces Shadow Sun to defect and opens her eyes to the idiocy of the Ethereals, what consequences did that have? I don't know. There's so many consequences that I wouldn't even know where to start with piecing something together. I'm sorry, I genuinely, that's far too spanning a question for me to put together in 2 minutes. I genuinely have no idea. Yes, Magnus did do that. That's true. Yeah, fair point. Sorry, I guess I fell into the stereotype of the commissars there, I think. Fell into the stereotype. $40K comics. I'd be down for it if they could get good writers and good artists to do it, which I think they can. But given what Nosh showed us on the podcast of that fantasy comic, it was very cookie cutter and by the numbers, and the art style was mixed. So if they get a good team behind it, I think so. But they need a good team. Very good team. Was Kerr's damage kind of like Angrod was? And if so, what might his original purpose have been? You see, I don't know. I don't know if he was. I don't. Like, yes, his mind was twisted, but so was every Primarch. So, hard to say. Should the missing Primarchs return? No. Leave them dead. What school of assassin killed Kurz? It was a Kalidas by the name of Shed, which is believed to be a reference to Michael Sheen for a reason. I can't remember why. Who would choose to do a rogue trader crew over a Talgame Ace Colony starter? Depends on whether you believe in the idea of the Ethereals or not. For me, go with the Enclaves. Titus Gold Machine was a very good comic. Check the Death Watch comics, good to know. Is there any people you want to get on the podcast but never been able to? Well, we sent an email a long time ago to Jay, Mini Wargamer Jay, but I never got a response. But then again, we were quite new at the time, so I don't know if we were expecting them to. Probably it would be cool to get. I know Reblaze has told me that Samoa Joe, the wrestler, is a big hobbyist, so it would be fun to have him. Or Shayna Baszler, actually, because she comes out with like Warhammer gear on sometimes, like the Mark of Khorne. The one guest I'd love to have had, but we can't get anymore, sadly, is Total Biscuit. While he was alive, he was the dream guest for the podcast, for me. Because TB was, I think, the first person I ever watched on YouTube through his WTF is Space Marine. I think that might have been the first time I properly sat down and watched a YouTube video, like long form YouTube video. So I'd have loved to have had TB. As in Total Biscuit, not tuberculosis. But yeah, if I could have had Total Biscuit, I'd have absolutely had Total Biscuit. But that's not going to happen. So as of now, I'm not sure. Because obviously a lot of people will be hobbyists on their own time, but I wouldn't know it. Like getting Markiplier on the show was amazing and insane. Like how Rem managed to weave that one. Well, I know how Rem got that one, but that was insane. So I don't know. Genuinely, I don't know. If the Emperor of Mankind came back, what would you do? Flip nose. Thank you. UFC, no, not really my thing. Brian Blessed would be insane. That would be actually genuinely awesome, because apparently he had a load of fun doing Go Trek, but I don't know if he's looked into Warhammer. And I think there was a thing on Radio 2. I think Jeremy Vine, the presenter for the BBC, he was given some Warhammer after something on Radio 2. So it'd be fun to get him on, just to show him the majesty of the hobby in full. But that's never going to happen. So Brian Blessed would be amazing if he were interested, but it would be very difficult to do. Yeah. spoken about Arch earlier in the stream. They were invited, but we never got a reply, as I recall. Outer Circle, I don't really follow their work, in truth. I've seen bits and bobs of it, but I don't really follow their work. And, I mean, I'm not going to rule it out, but they weren't on my to-do list, if I'm completely honest. If something changes and Rem wants them on, or I find their work and to be more what we're looking for, then sure, I might ask them. But it's... yeah. Annandale would be great, though I don't read as much of Annandale's work, aside from the Neferata stuff. I really enjoyed his Neferata stuff, but I haven't read loads of Annandale, so I'd probably have to read some more of his stuff before I wanted to feel confident enough to invite him. Yeah, I think that's probably fair that he doesn't know much. It would be fun to have him, because it would be fun to almost teach him a bit as we go along. But I really doubt that he'd be interested in coming on a Warhammer podcast on unofficial Not Games Workshop business. Would be amazing, but I find it unlikely. Would be cool though. Canada. Canada's a long way to go and it's expensive. I don't know if I'd go specifically for gaming. I'd probably go... if I was going, I'd just go to travel or explore. Or maybe just to visit. But I wouldn't go with the express purpose of gaming. I know many wargaming are there. They're in Canada, aren't they? Or are they in America? I think they're in Canada. I'm not thinking to go across to the States for like mini wargaming or anything like that. But maybe one day. Maybe one day. Who knows? So I'm probably going to stream until about 10 p.m. So for about 20 more minutes. So we'll have a 90-minute stream. Then we will retire. I will get a fresh drink and stuff. And I'll probably then retire to the Discord and begin continue some conversations in voice chat there. Which is something that I quite often like to do after streams. Thank you, Rowan. If you were to reintroduce Cetera and Tomb Kings, I wouldn't. How should they put it on the tabletop? Fast army. Death is slow. Death is very slow. With the exception of Soulblight, but they're hyper elite. So I think a speed army. I think that's what Death is lacking, is speed. So probably that, like a really fast hitting army, sort of Headed Knights of Slanesh style. Very fast moving, very hard hitting, but also by Death standards quite flimsy. Maybe they have weaker summoning. Maybe they have no summoning because they're just like fragments of a race that once was. They can't come back. This is their only go. Maybe, I don't know. I wouldn't. I'd make them flimsier, but hit harder. I think. I'm not going to do the Angry Marines because the Angry Marines are fan fiction. So because they're fan fiction, I will not be covering them in terms of lore because I don't cover fan fiction homebrews. That's just not the 40k Stories policy. It's not actually Fanta, for once. It looks like it, but it's actually not, so... got you. Black Templars. Dabble with them when they have their own codex. Cool lore, cool army. Probably never going to play it. Yeah. I've been looking into that story, actually. I've looked into that quite recently. You'll see why at the weekend. But... that is a thing. That is a thing that happens. Don't know anything about guns, so I'm not going to say anything. I'm British, remember? Yeah, we don't have firearms laws. Well, we do have very strict firearms laws in this country. We don't carry guns as a rule of thumb. In fact, the only time I've seen someone holding a gun is a police officer. That's only very, very rare. So, not going to talk about that. better. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, this is the awkward part when I don't have a plan for a stream and I'm not painting. There's just these odd, quiet lulls in chat, and I'm just like, right, what am I going to do now? What am I going to do? David? Which David? Annandale? Geimer? I mean, to be honest, I'd love to get David Geimer on, because I really enjoy his Sigmar fiction. I've spoken to him very briefly on Twitter about Hamilcar, and the characters involved. If you want to see that discussion, it's on my Twitter, or you can go and watch Debtor's podcast this week. I don't know if he'll be interested. I might send him a message and give him the offer of coming on the show, but I don't know. Have I seen Sword and Shield? I have. Yes, I have. I don't have a Switch, so I'd have to go out and buy a Switch, and I'm probably not gonna buy a Switch. So, yeah, don't know. Probably watch a Let's Play of it and see all the new Pokemon and probably keep up with its meta, but I'm probably not going to play it because I don't have a Switch. Dream GW guys that's not Black Library. Jervis. Probably Jervis Johnson or Phil Kelly. Neither of whom are Black Library authors, though I know Phil does write for Black Library sometimes, that he did War of Secrets and Crest of Faith. I would say Phil Kelly because he's a senior rules writer for Sigmar. And also has done the Orc Codex in fourth edition, which was my favourite book of all time, and the first book I ever read for 40k. And Jervis because, well, it's Jervis freaking Johnson. What is it? The Guardian of the who? The who? Oh, that's an in joke, isn't it? That's an inside joke from the thing of the Discord. Yeah, I don't know what that... I didn't get that joke. Because I wasn't there in your last gaming session, so I don't know what that was about. But fair enough. Good joke. Good play. Well done. If we could get Duncan or Peach, I'd be very impressed at having to be able to negotiate, because apparently getting them in particular, like Duncan in particular, is a maze of negotiations and stuff like that. So it would be great, but I would be very surprised if we did. If we did, I'd be like, yeah, absolutely fabulous, let's do it. This will be a really good show. But I don't know how feasible it is, so it's not that I'm going to hope particularly strongly for. Okay, what the... Nope, okay, wait. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-boo. Plasmagon, the Imperium's true multi-tool. For those not in the know, which you won't be unless you're already in the Discord, there is a Wrath and Glory game going on our server right now. Harry has this person who goes different name in the chat has a stupidly overpowered gun, and it's a plasma gun, and it's broken as sin, and it's basically just cheating to win. How much free will do the Chaos Primarchs have? Less than they think, but more than they could. So they're not total puppets, but they're definitely part of the great game and being played as such. So, yeah. Some, but not loads, I would say. Some, but not loads. Why are we quoting random foods now? What's the point? This is just dumb. Okay. Consider that name duly noted. We don't generally get painters and builders because we just don't. But I'll keep the name in mind. Might have a look at some of their work. When do you think Vulcan will be back? I don't think he will. I'm happy for him to stay out of it. I'm happy for him to stay gone. Would you want Perturabo to return to tabletop, and how do you want to talk? I would go like Obliterator, like lead into that idea of like the Obliterator and stuff. So I'd go with that. Okay, the next person that does that, time them out, because I'm just kind of not in the mood for it. Thinking of Warcry? Yes. Don't know if I'll play it, but I certainly look at it if I can. But I don't know if I'll get around to it in a rush because obviously need people to play it with, and that's always been the challenge, is finding people to play it with, which is always the challenge with these things. do 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 do. Yeah, I think there's no point really talking about the Wrath and Glory thing here because like no one in chat's gonna get it. So it's kind of what the. That's an Iron Warrior playing a giant Saxo. What? What? Okay, that's a thing. That's a thing. I have not gotten the new Labor Chaotica. I'm afraid Remlace has. I don't. But yeah, it's a really fantastic old book. Like, Rem has raved about it for years, so it's great to see it back. And I'm sure Rem will be bang. I think we mentioned it very briefly on last podcast, though. I think he's probably had a chance to read it now to the new cast, so we might talk about it a bit this time around. Not sure. Have you read about the large that they found buried on the dark side of the moon? No, I haven't. So I wouldn't know where to start on that one, I'm afraid. Epic Sax Marine. Yeah, basically, it's an Iron Warrior cosplay playing a giant saxophone. Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. I'm just gonna listen to this. I'm gonna retweet that. I'm gonna retweet it if people care. That's funny. That's very funny. That is very. That is cool. I approve. I very much approve. Cool. So you can see that I retweeted it on my Twitter if you care. There you go. It's brilliant. Honestly, it's very cool. I just wasn't really sure how to react to it the first time. It's really cool, and full credit to him. It's a very novel way of doing cosplay. I'm not going to knock anyone who does cosplay because I could never do it. I'm not skilled enough to make the costume. Never mind want to walk around a con wearing the thing. So yeah, Mercenaries at AOS sounds like fun, but not sure possible to exploit. Well, yes, you pay a command point to take a small block of whatever you want. Though that whatever you want is very constricted. There's only 10 options. So, exploitable? Probably. Powerful? Debatably. Game breaking? I doubt it. I just do. I think they'll be good, but not that good. What was my kit from hell? A kit from hell. You see, I'd go with one of the kits I worked on a number of years ago, but I was also a terrible hobbyist back then. I was really bad. So, like, it's hard to say because how much of it was me being terrible or the kit being terrible. So, probably of late, it was Gavriel Shawheart because the hair was on the shoulder pad like that. So it was a nightmare to get off for the conversion. That was a pain. So that was annoying. Other than that, I haven't really had any difficult models really of late to work on. All my models have gone together really nicely, so I can't think of anything. Probably of late it's been my Kellyan Guard because they don't go on their stupid bases because they don't have like slots anymore. They have these little divots. I've showed it on Alpha Avenger. I'll check if you want. Pigeons, the cosplay fun, the pixel art 2D version. No. That will not be necessary. That will not be necessary. Thank you, Scarlett. But that will not be necessary. Save your own money for yourselves or give it to more worthy people who are actually creating their own cosplays, artwork, or stuff like that. Support your hobbyists with the money and all of that fun stuff. Pitting metal models is indeed a nightmare. I've never had to do it because I don't buy big metal models. My Malekith actually I need to glue my Malekith together. I need to get some super glue. But my Malekith goes together reasonably well, and it's quite small, so it doesn't need pinning. But I can definitely see how it could be a nightmare. I can definitely see that. Okay, I'm going to go for 5 more minutes, and then I'm going to call time. So, if you have any last questions, things you want to talk about, go for it now. Or when chat calms down, we'll call it a night, and I'll go freshen up and retire to the Discord. Okay? 5 minutes. Go. And now wait 30 seconds for chat to catch up because I've got reasonable latency to prevent it lagging for people. Really? Really? Some melons? Like, watermelon's nice. In small amounts. Never really been that fussed for any of them, to be fair. Worst balls I've tried. Fair enough. Thank you for the lore videos. You're welcome. Always happy to do them because they're really good fun. Future campaign most easy as a possibility. Okay. Octarius. Armageddon. I had something, but I lost it. Stygius. I.e. Mordian and that lot. A campaign to retake Stygius. Go back a bit, do the Plague Wars if you want. Probably not, but they could. You could do the battles with the Startide Nexus, with the Death Guard versus the Tau. You could do that, but they're that need to escalate. I don't know if they could do that. So probably Armageddon and Octarius are two of your best bets, and I'd start there. Next podcast will be out on Wednesday on Reblaze's channel, because that's the way the upload schedule works. So recording it this week, and it will come out next week on Wednesday, usually about 7 o'clock in the morning UK time. Just maybe sort of... Okay, good to know. Secrets? Shh, not saying anything. Recent models, the Mark IV Vigilator, mainly because I hadn't worked with resin for a while. Fair. Any games you have played and you just wanted to say what even is this game system? Probably the nearest thing I've had to that was Lord of the Rings, because I tried it and I didn't play it again. So I haven't really played enough game systems to really say I've had a proper rage moment. But probably Lord of the Rings is the nearest I've had to, or, like, old Lord of the Rings. Like, I'm going back like 10 years now. Not War of the Ring, not The Hobbit, not Middle-earth. Like, Lord of the Rings strategy battle game. All the way back in the ancient past, if anyone remembers that. Back in like 13? So, like 2013? No, 2010. Well, 2010. Probably like 10 years ago. Yeah, probably that system. Thank you for the stream. Not a problem. I really am glad to get back to doing streaming. I haven't done it so long. And it's really good because I don't get to upload as much nowadays with well, I haven't been able to upload with exams, so I'd love to have been able to just stream on an evening, which would have been great if I had good internet, but I didn't. So otherwise I'd had a load of streams during that time as like de-stress on a post-exam day, but I couldn't do it, and it sucked. So I'm really glad to be back doing it, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. Fellas gets... If he gets him, then he gets him. I can be civil, and we'll just talk about the new stuff and maybe get opinions on what's going on now, directions of the plot since they've been out of the hobby for so long, rather than spending so much time indulging in the past. That's probably what I do, is try and keep the conversation to the present and to that sort of thing. No, thank you. What's the name of the other channel you will load the next stream on? 40k Theories. Just, if you're struggling to find them, go onto my channel's page, and on the right-hand side of the screen, there should be a tab that says Hobby Channels and Friends, and I think Rem's at the top of that list. Like a lot of people who've worked on the podcast are on there, so I think definitely the Warp Time Radio team are on there. I think Snipe and Wib are there, Alpha's there. I think there might be a couple of others there as well. So would suggest looking there if you can't find them. The army you wish would stop getting any attention. Oh. Wolves? Probably. Wolves. Recaf, I think, is coffee rather than tea because it's got more caffeine. On the organisation... Yeah, probably. Right. Sorry, headphone users, but I'm going to call time there. We've just passed an hour and a half. So thank you, everybody, for turning out to watch this stream. It's been a pleasure to be back on the live streaming game because it's been too long since I got to do this. It's been really fun just to catch up and all of that stuff. So I'm going to call it a night. I don't know when I'll be back streaming in the near future. Hopefully sometime next week. Because I've got plans for the weekend, but hopefully next week I will be doing another stream if all goes well, and we will see what happens from that. So for now, thank you very much for watching. If you wish to join the Discord server and have not done so already, then the link is in the chat, as you can see. We do have rules. Follow them. You won't get kicked out. We have had to ban people before, so do play nice. And yes, thank you very much for turning out. It's been a pleasure, and I will see you all very, very soon. Check out the channel tomorrow. I'll be uploading my thoughts on the General's Handbook 2019, and 40k Stories resumes on Saturday, which means we're getting on to the 150th episode and also the 25,000 subscriber special. I hope you're ready. I've been working on it for so damn long. I don't even know how long it is yet, but it's going to be fun, and I hope you can join me for that. So, thank you very much for watching. This has been Tactica Imperialis, and I will see you all very, very soon. Good night.